All right, let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Don Cherry Grapevine podcast. And this week, we're going to run a 1993 interview with the road runner, Yvan Cournoyer. Now, all you Habs fans will know who Yvan Cournoyer is, the road runner. He spent 16 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens, his entire career, won 10 Stanley Cups in 16 seasons. Hard to believe, but maybe most famous for in 1972 was one of the major factors in that series against the Russians, the Summit Series, and got an assist on Paul Henderson's winning goal. And that night, we also had Frank Mahovlich on, so they talk quite a bit about the 72 Summit Series, and they talk about free agency. And at the end, it's funny how things haven't changed that much. Yvan Cournoyer had a one-piece undergarment for hockey players, because back then in 1993 people were concerned about the expense of hockey, and he thought this would help, that it had like a shoulder pads and a cup and some shin pads, and it was all a one piece type of undergarment. So anyway, here we go with a 1993 interview with Dad and the road runner Yvan Cournoyer.
Runner motor or what?
Boy, I'll tell you, the first time I saw him was he was playing with junior Canadians over in Hamilton, and this guy scored 4 goals in this one game, and I was with the Leafs at the time, and I says, what are we going to do with this guy when he reaches the Montreal Canadiens?
I'll tell you, and he was the road runner, a Hall of Famer. We got a blue movie on him. Let's see the blue movie right now. Okay, Yvan Cournoyer, roll the blue. Good one on it. Yvan Cournoyer, all-star right winger for the Montreal Canadiens, was maybe the fastest player ever to play the game. No wonder his teammates and opponents call him the road runner. You couldn't catch him. Yvan played 16 great years for the Habs, but one of his greatest thrills was being on Team Canada in '72. It was Yvan who kept the puck in for Paul Henderson to score the winning goal. Yvan was one of those guys who always came through in the playoffs, scoring 15 goals in 17 games and winning the Most Valuable Player Conn Smythe Award when the Habs won the Cup in 1973. Small but strong as an ox, proving the old saying, good things come in small packages. Yvan Cournoyer of the Montreal Canadiens. Look good. All right. Got a great bar in Montreal. Tell us about that right off. What do they call it? Number 12s.
Number 12, Yvan Cournoyer. You know, after you play all your life in hockey, you got to do something else, and you got to adjust to be a different job. So I didn't want to be a coach. I didn't want to be fired.
Like me? Like Bep and I?
So I decided that if I get fired, I fire myself.
Yeah. Doing well, too. 12, number 12. I used to have 12 beers in there all the time. That's what I used to call it. Now, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Drummondville. I speak good English. I said yes and no when I arrived in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way. That was my English.
That's the way rookies should do it.
So I came. I was 14 years old in Montreal. My father bought his business, and I think I was lucky to come in Montreal because maybe I never played hockey. So
well, I remember reading about Lachine when you played for them. That what a thrill that must have been to beat out Verdun. Tell us about that one.
Well, you know, when you come from a little town, it's pretty hard because everybody was English. So my first word in English was the coach asked me, he said, "What do you need?" I said. So that was my first word in English.
What? That's something like mine in French. I'll tell you that right now. But you went and played for the Junior Canadians, right? And Claude Ruel, wasn't he your coach there?
Yes, I was pretty lucky because all my life I never traveled more than 15 minutes from the Forum. That's the year they moved from Ottawa to Montreal. So I was at home all the time, and I never have to leave Montreal. So I was pretty lucky.
Claude, you know, a lot of people, he won the Stanley Cup, but a lot of people said he wasn't a great coach. But boy, he was a great teacher. Eh? He wanted you to work on your shot.
Well, he was a good motivator. Like Claude, he was not maybe the best coach you ever see in now, but he was really honest. And that's why sometimes when the coach is very honest, the guy works very hard for him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, you got 63, you got the call up, right? What was it like when you walked in that dressing room and knew you were going to play for the Montreal Canadiens? What a feeling that must have been.
Well, you don't feel your knees anymore. That's the first thing. You wait about a couple of years before you start shaving.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the other thing. And I think, you know, it's a dream. Yeah. When you're a kid, you play in Drummondville on the ice. Outside on the rink, you heard Billy Vaux, the Rocket, and all those guys. And it's a dream come true.
There they are.
There we are, and we're not sure if we're going to stay. And this is when, you know, you have to work very hard to get there. Yeah. But when you get there and you see those guys, you know you have to work harder to stay there.
Well, Toll Blake was there. He was a great coach, but he was tough on rookies, wasn't he?
Well, Toll Blake was like a father to me. I know when I was a young guy in Montreal, big city. Yeah. And
we won't say nothing, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
One day he sent me home because I was living in an apartment. And Tobic was like a father for me. He was very honest. And you could be the worst guy on the ice, but in the paper you were one of the best players.
Yeah, that's something, eh?
And he really respects his player, and that's why everybody loves him.
Everybody said he was the toughest guy in the world, but one of the toughest. But he was even tough on Lafleur when he come up, wasn't he?
Well, you got to be tough. It's yeah. If you want to be a winner, you have to be tough. If you if you play well, okay. But that's why you win Stanley Cup. But when you're honest and you tell the truth, you cannot do nothing against the truth.
Can't do anything more than that. What a power play you had back there. Tell us about that power play. It was unbelievable.
Well, I'm glad we had a power play the 3 first year because that's the only thing I was playing, the power play.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that was a good experience because I win my first 4 years, I win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And those days, we played 3 lines. We did play 4 lines.
Yeah.
And we have 5 right winger. So I had to make sure, and sometime I was telling Jean and Billy Vaux, I said, Jean, I only play the power play. Take your time. We cannot score in the first few seconds. That's the only thing I play. So wait a minute. So I give you a chance to play.
That's good, yeah. Don't hurry off the ice, eh? Don't stay on the whole 2 minutes, right? Yeah, I remember one time I was watching you play, I think it was St. Louis, and I'll never forget this. You took a slap shot, you hit Arbor, I think, in the leg. Remember he used the block shot? Yeah. He goes down, he's out. Bounces back to you, Barclay Plager, you let one go then, I think you hit him in the ankle, he is out, come back to you again and you whistle it in the top corner. You remember that game?
Yeah, I remember that game, and I said to those guys, I said, hey, don't let me shoot that, I'm getting tired here. You know?
Talking about getting tired, we got a clip here now. The Boston Bruins are always great getting the puck out of their own end. And this was one, we were playing Montreal, and you watch Yvan, he shoots so much, he collapsed at the end. Anyhow, Blue, you got that. Roll it, Blue, right now. We got to see this right now. Here it comes right now. Here comes the Boston Bruins getting the puck out of their end.
The shot goes wide, and the puck goes to Robinson. Wheels, a drive, and hit the side of the net. Oh, how the Canadians missed on that, we'll never know. Another one, loose in front. Backhand to Lambert, missed the net. In the corner, Schwartz can't move it out. A drive, block, a save, Cheevers, Joey Cheevers.
Well, at the end there, you had a little run there. If they had let it run a little longer, you'd have shown you put your face down the ice and went clunk, that's it. But that was a great, they were great rivalries we had doing that.
Well, the only thing we don't do in Montreal is every time Boston come in Montreal, they got about 4 or 5 buses so they can road for them.
Yeah.
In Montreal, we don't do that.
No, I know.
We don't bring people there.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys, but Montreal, when they go around to the cities in Canada, I remember in Vancouver, there was just as many, when you guys go in there, just as many fans in Vancouver as there is from Vancouver, right?
But there's a lot of people who don't like our weather, so they move in Vancouver.
Yeah, and cheer. Poor
That's
Harry.
why we had the...
You guys got a tying goal. They did a standing ovation. Harry Neal went nuts.
Well, I think the first 5-6 years, we never lost a game on the coast.
Party time, eh?
Maybe maybe the weather was nice over there.
No, I know what he used to do, what I used to do with the Boston Bruins. Listen, you want to have a little party? Then you better win. Now, 73, that was a great year for you. Tell us about 73.
Well, it started very good with the 72 series against Canada and Russia. And we win that. And I think that was the first year that I was hurt, but I didn't miss too many games. So that's why when you don't miss game, you got to produce.
Yeah.
And the Stanley Cup, I had 15 goals in the playoff, and I win the Stanley Cup. So that year
And the
was
most valuable player, by the way.
That year was
What
pretty
a
good
thrill.
for me.
Did they give you a little trophy for that, like for winning that?
Well, they give you a little plaque. It's called a Conn Smythe.
They don't give you a little trophy?
No, they don't give us a trophy.
Is
they
that
just
right,
give us a replica of the Conn Smythe plaque.
When I won Coach of the Year, they give you a nice big trophy. It's too bad you didn't coach. Anyhow, now 72, what a thrill that must have been to play on 72. We've got to be a thrill tying up that game. Before we get started, we talk about it. We're going to show that clip right off the bat. That must have been something. Tell us, before we show it, tell us what happened, how you got the goal.
Well, they say you practice the way you play and you play the way you practice. And I used to give a little bit more. And when you give a little bit more, you get a little bit more on the ice, a little bit more work.
Good for the kids, too.
I was going to the bench, and I decided to change my mind and stay on the ice. So my left wing went out, my center man went out, and I went to the middle of the ice, and I just changed my mind. I said, well, let's give it another try, because when we play against Boston, we always give that second effort to beat them.
Yeah.
So,
the Russians the same way, right? Yeah.
well,
sure.
almost.
Yeah.
I know we like them, so.
Yeah.
So I stay on the ice, I intercept the puck from the Russian guys who was throwing the puck around the board to clear the zone. I intercept, and I see Phil and Paul coming from the bench, try to give him, the puck went in the corner, put the puck in front, we scored a goal. But if I don't change my mind, the game is over. But, you know, when you play for Montreal, you have to win, so you always get that goal.
Got pressure, a little more. No, they wouldn't have had that goal if you don't tie the game up. Let's see that clip right now of you tying the game up, okay? Are we going to show that? Tommy says, yeah, we're going to show it. Here it comes.
Front of the net. Esposito banged that. Here's another shot by Cournoyer. He scores!
Boy, I'll tell you, we went nuts there. We went nuts there. Nuts. Nuts. What a feeling. There it is again. I tell you.
Gets it back out in front of the net.
I'll tell you, that was really something.
Well, this is they did put the light right away. They wait about. That's why Eagleson get in trouble there behind because they wait about that was 15 seconds before they put the light on.
Dombrowski, I think, was he was dumb, all right. Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but anyway, he was late.
Yeah, Dombrowski. I never forgot that name. That's when Al went across the ice with a finger up. He was just pointing number one, he said. But,
exactly. We were tied at this point.
Yeah, and what a goal after. But after the first game, when they beat you, what was it, 7-3?
Yeah.
Tell us the feeling in the dressing room then.
Well, I think we were not prepared for what's coming to us because the report we had, they were not right. And nobody was really prepared for what happened. But when we went to Russia, I had more confidence to come back and be a winner than when we left there. And you cannot change players each game, 3-4 players for a team. You have to be a team. And in Russia, we were starting to be the same players, play every game.
Getting in shape, too.
Exactly, get in shape and know those guys. And they were getting tired at the end. Don't tell me the Russian, they were more in shape than us at the end.
Yeah.
Their tongue was here, too.
I'll tell you, like you said, you played in Toronto, and you really smoked them in Toronto. Remember the game in Toronto?
Well, we were a little bit more prepared that game. But after that, we changed 3-4 players again. So you cannot change players all the time like that.
Right. The low point had to be in Vancouver when you got beat by Vancouver.
Well, maybe that was a low point there, but that game maybe helped us to come back. especially when Phil talked to the people and everything like that. We have to be a team and stick together. And he talked for us, and we were make sure that we come back a winner.
I remember the sweat pouring off him. He was out there. I remember him saying, "Hey, wait a minute. We get booed here. We give up. We could get hurt and all that." It was very inspirational. Now, the thing that got me when you went over there, I heard about it, was terrible. The customs guy stole all your beer. Well, I mean, steal your sticks and your skates, but your beer.
I don't know about the beer, but I know they were cutting our steak in half. And they have the second half in the back.
Oh, I'll tell you. But after the game, I'll tell you, remember the one game, the penalties, the refereeing over there was absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? 31-4, I think, in minutes and penalties or something.
Well, I would like to see you to be the coach there, what you would have done.
Oh.
Oh.
I'd have probably been buried under Lenin right now. I tell you the one thing I remember, first time I'd ever seen this, been in the game a long time, but remember that Makarov, I think, or not Makarov, well, one of those guys, whatever their names are, kicking Bergman. Remember that back in the net?
Oh, yeah, they were kicking with skate and everything like that, but, you know, I think we were getting used to that now at this point.
Yeah.
And the only thing was winning, and we coming number one.
Now, when it was 5-3 and you were in the dressing room, what was the atmosphere like? You know, you had to go out, you lose this game, it's all over. What was the atmosphere in the dressing room then?
Well, for me, I was used to that because in Boston, it's happened the same thing. We were losing 5-3, and we come back and beat Boston.
Why did you keep bringing Boston in here all the time? I don't understand it. Well, what
But it's like we had to come back. I mean, Paul Anderson just scored two overtime goals or a very critical goal the 2 games before. And you know, when you're not beat at the last minute, in hockey you have 60 minutes, it's a game. And no way we said, let's give our best and let's come back and let's win that game.
Well, you remember the time, we got to go now, but you're talking about the game over. I had a Stanley Cup with 1:20 to go. Put her there, Yvonne, boy, we're going over the bar. He was a member of that team right there. What a guy, Hall of Famer, Yvan Cournoyer. Don't you go away. Welcome back. Put her on there. The road runner. All right. Now take over here, Yvonne. Tell us about all this, okay?
Well, I think I designed that last year when the Boston Bruins decided to don't hit anybody.
That's all. Here it is again. You're right. I got to admit it. I tell you, they never hit a soul.
It's new from this year. Everything is washable. The plastic came off, and it makes with Velcro the shoulder pad, so you can take the plastic off. And when you put on your shoulder pad, you just put it like that, and this goes around your arms. And it's you don't need garter belts anymore because the Velcro holds the socks. The jock goes inside the pants because the pants open. And your shoulder pad, everything is washable. So it's for like hockey people who play hockey for fun or you know, just for
well, old-timers and Bobby Orr, that's all Bobby Orr wore was caps.
Guy Lafleur, Bob Guinness, and myself, that's where the idea comes from.
Well, you used to wear like, it was, what was it, like padding down there?
Well, a little bit of padding, and then the Velcro was holding my cap, so that's where the idea come from. And
good idea. How's it going? Going good?
Well, it's the first year. Winwell is the distributor from Toronto here, so it goes everywhere across the...
Well, we got that, Tim, that's my son, Tim Cherry, modeling it for you, but we got a little something underneath there. I'll show you. All right? When it comes from Montreal, we had to have a little, that looks like it's going to be a winner. That's all right. Did you wear shoulder pads like that, Frank, or what?
Yes, I did. They were a little different. They came around with in front of the chest and the back. And I had them for 20 years. I don't think I washed them once.
Well, no wonder nobody went near you. Check, I'll tell you that right now. You know, I have to tell you a story that this is great, too, because I hated, down in the minors, they never washed the underwear. Honest, folks, I hate to tell you, but you wore it time after time after time. In fact, you could take and stand it in the corner, right, and walk out to you. So I wouldn't wear it. And I used to just wear a T-shirt down below. And one day, it's all I had on was a T-shirt. And one day I got into a fight, and I'm bending over in my braces, and my pants fell down. And guess what was sticking up in the air?
I think a full moon.
Oh, pretty good, eh? All right, pretty good. Let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens. I go down there Saturday mornings for Hockey Night in Canada. I walk in a beautiful room there, and that's your alumni room, isn't it, in there?
Well, I think it's nice because it's not just for us, but if I have another guy who play hockey against me, and I got a chance to invite him in the room, I think it makes the evening very nice and the hockey game very nice. Even Frank can tell you about it, and it's a little bit of respect they have for the.
And the younger players look up and they see how you're treated, and they know they're going to be treated like that.
Exactly. So I think it's great from Ronald Carey to do that. 5 years
you
ago.
guys, like you never ever were invited back into the Gardens, hardly any time.
No, but I got traded to Montreal with Yvan in '72. I played with Yvan, and Montreal always kept their tradition. I mean, you walked in the room and you looked up and you saw Maurice Richard's photograph up there with Kenny Reardon, and
my hero,
and you know, everybody that was in the Hall of Fame, Bill Durnan. And you looked up to them, and you had to go out there every night carrying that on your shoulders, so you played well.
Looks like Toronto might be coming back. They've got Sittler now coming back, and they're talking about having a good alumni now.
Yes, they are. There's still there's a lot of shuffling going on, and I think they're heading in the right direction.
Well, like Montreal, let's hope they tell us what you think. Now, the National Hockey League, you know, we'll talk about free agency. What do you think, first of all, about free agency?
Well, I think it's fair for the team if a guy gives 10 years of his life to one team, and after he would be able to go somewhere else. I think that's fair. But don't forget, you got to respect the game, you got to respect the league. And if everybody wants to go wherever they want to go, that means there's no more hockey.
Yeah.
And there's no more control of the ticket price.
Right. What do you think, Frank?
I think Ivan's right in a lot of ways. I think the player should go to where the league has chosen him to go, to give it a try. He may like it very well up in...
I think you're talking about Lindros.
Yeah, Quebec or Montreal or wherever you're chosen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lindros.
Yeah.
I think that the man should go up to Quebec. I think he just may like it up there and may not want to go anywhere else. Who knows? How do you know if you don't try?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to try it. but now the salaries today, when you see some of the salaries today, Yvonne, you must just shake your head when you see some of the, I mean, we're talking guys getting $1.3 million that scored 27 goals. I mean, what's going on here?
Well, not really. You know, that's why you get a big wind shear and a small mirror to look in the back.
Yeah.
I look forward. And I was pretty happy. I did something that I like to do all my life. I win 10 Stanley Cup in 15 years. I play with good guys like Frank and everybody else. And I don't know if they're happier than we were. Like, I think Lindros would be happy to be able to play hockey and to be a star.
Well, you were a star, and I'll tell you, you're a Hall of Famer, and thanks for coming on this Grapevine. You're a great guy, even though you cost me a lot of Stanley Cups. See you next week, folks. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll be back next week.